Welcome back to Design Huddle. Today we're going to be talking about logos and logo design. But before that, Mustafa, what are your thoughts on Jeffrey Bezos going to outer space for like 10 minutes?
Well, the first thoughts was, did he have Amazon Prime? And it would have been funnier if he returned back in bubble wrap with two boxes, like an unnecessary packaging. That would have been funnier.
Yeah, like he delivered.
If he just came back in a
Yeah,
cardboard box and it was like, and like him just cushioned in bubble wrap, and that's how he landed on, like a big bubble wrap suit. I think, I don't know if this was misquoted in the press, but it sounded like he said something along the lines of, well, you lot paid for it, so, you should congratulate yourselves, which I thought was quite arrogant, if he actually said that, but I didn't check to see if he did actually say that.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. I wasn't sure if that was true or not, but it's pretty tone deaf if you ask me.
Yeah, especially I mean, him and Richard Branson, more money than sense. There's more problems on Earth, and we know less about our oceans than we do about space, apparently. So, but there you go.
Yeah, here's a stat for you. Jeffrey Bezos added 1.7 billion to his net worth since he went to space. So he literally could have dumped $1 billion out of his spaceship and still gained more money in the last 36 hours than 23,000 Amazon warehouse workers will make all year combined. It's insane.
Yeah, I think the discrepancy between rich and poor is terrible, and I think someone did an analysis of like what CEOs earn versus what their employees earn, and that gap has just grown and grown and grown like exponentially. So, yeah, I mean, you can't. There's a cap and a limit, and I think. Yeah, it makes me feel uncomfortable, these things, like I don't, it's just so unnecessary, but there you go.
No, I kind of agree. I'm like, I guess my stance is that I wish the money could be allocated to a more pressing issue. I do think there is value in space exploration, but I just think there's a lot of other things that we could be using those resources for. It's things that are pretty straightforward, like making sure everybody is like well fed, clean water, better infrastructure. I don't know, bank the unbanked. Like there's a million different things that I think we should be devoting billions of dollars to, but it's also funny because it dominates the news cycle. So I also think it takes away energy from other positive or all the good stuff that might be going on as well in addition to it. So yeah, I just wanted to see what your thoughts were because it was just like blowing up my Twitter timeline, and I wanted to see if you thought the same.
Yeah, no, I thought it was just ridiculous, and it just reminded me of like lots of jokes about CEOs, some of them really inappropriate, so I won't repeat them, but I mean, I just don't know. Anyways, moving on. This week,
yeah. So, so yeah, we have a lot of awesome logo-inspired articles from Creative Blog. It's one of like our most popular, references and media sources that we use. So, which one did you want to start with? I thought they were all pretty compelling.
Yeah, so Creative Block is a collection of design magazines, like .NET magazine, which is a web design magazine, Web Designer magazine, and a few others, but mostly on the creative side, but they do some coding things as well. And so they're great. So Creative Block is basically all of the art and design articles which they publish in their magazine, they eventually put on it is one whole portal site. So I think the first article I found, which was kind of interesting and compelling, and it was like, what do you get when you combine the world's most famous iconic logos? So what a bunch of designers have been doing is taking, say, prominent, it looks like fast food restaurant logos, and then smashing them with like sportswear logos. It's very interesting visually. I'm not sure if they all work. So for example, they've taken the Burger King logo and they've combined it with the Nike logo, which kind of looks visually interesting. I'm not even sure why someone would do this, but it's an interesting exploration in logo design, and just like stretching.
Yeah, that's what my first question is. Is this just to show that they can do it? Because I don't like the second one that's shown is like an Adidas plus McDonald's logo, and I personally do not like that one at all. I think the Burger King one works a little bit better, but is there any like advantage is this just literally like a creative exercise for logo designers to do to get inspired, or?
Yeah, I'm guessing they're basically trying to see what will happen, and also it's like sometimes like designers will explore like different shapes being combined, and the goal is maybe they're flexing their illustrator muscles just to see like what they could possibly do. And doing these like little small experimental projects gives designers and illustrators the opportunity to just try out stuff which may not actually work within the context of what they're doing because it's just like futurescape exploration, but it's like experimenting that you might be able to use an element of that. Like another person who's like quite newsworthy at the moment is Kanye West, and what he does with music is that he does these really weird exploratory stuff. Sometimes it's amazing and it sets off a trend, and other times you think, what is he doing? More often than not these days it's mostly what is he doing, and I think this is kind of one of those weird explorations. So they did the KFC logo with the champion jersey. I mean, that's just a bit lazy, to be honest. And then like Pizza Hut with Air Jordan, I just found that to be like I think someone just got bored at that point. But like the Nike logo with what do you call it? I've forgotten it. With Burger King, I think it's quite an interesting use of shapes and stuff. And again, it's just an exploration of shapes. So yeah, feel free to check those designs out. I mean, some of them go back a few years, but it's like the news cycle at the moment. It's like I think designers are bored at home.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Design Huddle. The opinions expressed are solely our own and do not express the views or opinions of our employer.